You know, I realized that I spend so much time getting to know my commenters on my blog and my followers on Facebook and Twitter, but maybe I don't share enough of myself with you. And I really wanted to take some time to really give you a glimpse into who I am. I'm not just the girl that sits behind the computer. You know, I'm a real person with real struggles, including a dog that doesn't want to start barking every time I open up my mouth. I think she knows that I'm filming this video. Anyways, most of my life, especially as a teen and an adult, I was overweight. I was made fun of in high school for many different things, you know, and one of them was my weight. And I remember that it was very hard for me to make friends in high school. You know, the girls would write nasty stuff on my locker with permanent markers, or they would leave post-it notes on my locker. Nobody wanted to sit by me on the bus. Nobody wanted to sit next to me in class. And I really just was isolated from everybody. And the one place in school that I felt the most accepted and the most comfortable was lunch. And I mean, I would sit by myself at lunch, and I would just enjoy the nachos and the pizza and, you know, whatever it was that my high school cafeteria had to offer. And I never really thought twice about having seconds or thirds. I just kept eating because for me that was comfort. Very early on in my teenage years, I learned that people were going to hurt me. People that I loved and trusted were going to hurt me. And everybody that I loved or trusted basically turned their back at me at one point in time. So I learned very early on that food wasn't going to judge me. Food wasn't going to hurt me. Food was just going to be there for me. And I know some of you are probably thinking that's probably the stupidest thing that you've ever heard. But if you've ever suffered with any sort of eating disorder, whether it's, you know, a food addiction or anorexia or bulimia or even just, you know, binge eating or emotional eating, you know, you understand the significance of food in your life. And food started to replace meaningful relationships. You know, while all the girls in the neighborhood were out having sleepovers and whatnot, I was at home eating the Little Debbie snack cakes. And I remember my mom always used to buy groceries, and she would buy like 4 or 5 boxes of the various Little Debbie snack cakes, dump them into a basket, and set it on top of the microwave. And it was easily accessible. So I would go and I would eat, you know, the second I came home from school, after dinner, before bed, in the morning, summer vacation, spring vacation. She always had the food readily available, and she enabled me to isolate myself. When I was 15, my parents split up, and that was, I think, the defining moment in my life. My mom left one night without saying goodbye. She just packed up her car and she left. And to this day, you know, it's been 16 years since it happened, and that day is forever burned in my mind because my mom was the one person that understood me and the one person that really got that I was suffering. And then suddenly, you know, I turned around and she was gone, and it was hard. It was definitely a hard reality for me to adjust to. So instead of dealing with it and coping with it, I just sought out, you know, negative relationships with people and food. As I grew up and graduated high school, my eating disorder followed me all over the place. I gained weight like it was nobody's business. And I just kept gaining. And I would every once in a while say, oh, well, you know, I'm going to lose the weight. And I might lose a pound or two, but then I would gain like 20 back. The defining moment of my weight loss journey came in 2009, so 2 years ago now, when I was pregnant with my 4th son, Noah. I was hospitalized on and off with just extremely high blood pressure. And the day that he was born, I had a non-stress test in my doctor's office. And as I was leaving the doctor's office, I was in my car pulling out of the parking lot. The doctor called me and said, you have to have this baby now. He's in danger. I had full-blown preeclampsia, and we also were diagnosed with IUGR, which is a growth restriction. Thankfully, Noah was born 5 pounds, 15 ounces. He'll be 2 on the 29th of this month. So I was definitely blessed in that regard. My weight nearly took my baby from me. My weight had crippled me and had affected, you know, my body's ability to create this child. You know, this was my responsibility, and my weight got in the way of that. But instead of saying, okay, you know, I'm going to start losing weight, I gained weight. I gained about 20 pounds more, actually 25 pounds, 30 pounds, 25, 30 pounds more than when I was pregnant. Because the day that I gave birth to my son, I was weighed in the doctor's office and I weighed 225 pounds. When I got weighed a year later, I weighed 250 pounds. And in that before picture that you can find on my blog, under the before tab, you can find it on my Facebook page. That was a picture that I used as a starting point. I weighed 250 pounds in that picture. In October 2010, I started working with a personal trainer and going to a gym. And I think that was definitely the aha moment for me. It was when things really started to change. Over the last nine or so months, I've learned that, it's okay to ask for help. That, maybe if I would have reached out to people earlier on, things wouldn't have gotten out of control as they were. I never really learned how to have a good relationship with anybody because my relationships always centered around food. And it's definitely been a learning process for me to get to this point. It's not easy. And I still have days, even now, where I just want to throw it all away. And I just want to eat and I just want to go back to the way it was because that way was easy. That way was comfortable for me. But every day that I spend weighing less than I did before is another day outside of my comfort zone, and it scares me. And if anybody loses weight and tells you that it doesn't scare them, then they're lying, because this is huge for me. I weigh less now than I've weighed in my entire life, well, except for when I was, a baby. But you know what I mean. In my entire adult life, I weigh less now than I ever have. And it's scary because now I'm in uncharted territory. Now I'm out in the unknown with, I don't know. I still gravitate toward the double XL clothes when I go to the store. I still think of myself as this fat girl. And it's hard for me. It's definitely hard. I'm marathon training. I have a book coming out. I have a magazine appearance scheduled to happen later this summer. Hopefully a TV show later this summer. I'll be out a talk show. There's so many exciting things that are happening, but I'm scared. And I'm scared that, I'm going to fail to be the person that everybody out there wants me to be. But that fear of failure is what drives me. And, I'm so far from the finish line. And I think when it comes to weight loss, there never is a finish line. There never is a finish line because it's a constant everyday lifestyle change. So I've lost 80 pounds so far, and I have a healthy blood pressure. I have a better BMI than I have. I still have a little bit of ways to go to actually get to a healthy BMI, but overall I'm better. I just ran my first 5K with a time of 44:08 on June 4th, so it's definitely exciting, and things are really changing for me. And it's scary. And I know I keep saying that, and I think it's just because I can't believe that this is my life now. You never realize how much your weight is holding you back. You never realize, how much you're holding yourself back. So you make the decision to say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live my life this way anymore. I don't want to miss out on life. And that's what's happening. When you're overweight, you're missing out on so much. Life is waiting for you. Life is out there saying, come on, take it by the arm and say, let's go. You only get to do this once. Live it to the fullest. Don't spend it on the sidelines anymore. If you need help getting started with your weight loss journey, visit me at www.byebyefatgirl.net and let me help you take that first step. Because as the saying goes, every journey starts with a single step.